This is one of the most evenly divided districts in the entire state. For a newcomer like Sherry Young, it gives her a chance to score an upset against an incumbent. How do you like your chances?
How do I like my chances? I'm comfortable with my chances.
Sherry Young has no campaign website, barely mentions that she's running for office on her Facebook page, and says she's not asking voters for any money.
My game plan is a little bit different than the actual competitor. So it's just something that I actually personally utilize myself with a lot of business owners, churches, things along that nature.
Young describes herself as an activist. Do you believe in the Black Lives Matter movement?
Yes, I do think that a lot of the discriminatory with a lot of police officers should be taken into a new view.
The Greensboro Democrat says police often protect the community, but she supports safeguards to protect the public.
As far as like police cameras and things like that, to make sure that they're not shooting, civilians that are actually just abiding citizens.
Did you feel that the police discriminated against you in your recent situation?
Absolutely.
Young faces 2 misdemeanor gun charges. Police say she fired a handgun inside city limits. The second charge is for, quote, going armed to the terror of the people. The incident happened last November. No one was hurt. Young says she was protecting her family from a break-in at her home.
So with that situation, I called the police because I was actually terrified and scared for my life.
Young says after calling police for help, she ended up answering uncomfortable questions.
Asked questions of where I worked and the things that I did was more so of a racial profiling. So it's not something that I really too much care to honestly go in because it's a hurtful thing.
Greensboro police did not respond to our questions about the gun charges. The case has been delayed until December after the election. Why are you running for political office?
Well, the reason why I'm running for a political office as State House is because I feel as if we have a shortage of communication with our community as well as our politicians. So I feel as if me being in the middle of that, I would be able to bridge that gap.
Was there something that happened at an event in your life that said, hey, today I'm throwing my hat into the political arena?
Yes, I think it's the age. More so because I find that we have a lot of older people that are actually politicians, and I would like us to also be able to bridge that gap between the young and the older generation because it's very important. Is
there some legislation that you're interested in?
Yes, it's many issues that I would like to actually speak upon. Mainly would be the drinking water.
Do you have some concern that, or some reason to believe that our drinking water is in jeopardy?
Well, have you taken a look at the test results of what's in the water?
Not lately.
Okay. Are you aware that fluoride actually is something that...
I am aware of that.
Okay. So research is very important.
Young says she's bankrolling her own campaign and expects to spend about $5,000 in an effort to win a seat in the General Assembly.
I never asked for $1 in my campaigning because it's not about trying to take money from the community. If anything, I'm trying to show them where the jobs are to help them with incentives and things along that nature versus taking away from my community.
So you haven't raised any money?
No, I have not taken $1.
In the last presidential election, Democrats outvoted Republicans in this district by a slim 1% margin. Sherry Young takes on John Hardister in the midterm elections. Bill O'Neill, WXII 12 News.